Good morning, fastball fans, and welcome back to day 2 of the Hallman Memorial Tournament here at Peter Hallman Ball Yard in Kitchener, Ontario. Blair Setford, Joe Todd on Softball Premier TV. There's a look at the Hill United Chiefs. They are about to get set to take on the Bear Creek Express. 11 a.m. scheduled start time, and Joe Todd, lots of games going on this morning, and even one that was resumed from last night after the storm blew through here and dumped a torrential amount of rain on the area.
Yes, JDT come back and scored a comeback victory in the bottom of the 7th inning with a walk-off home run by Justin Leskowski. Big win by JDT this morning.
So that picks them up, and they'll resume the schedule right as it was planned for today. The 2 games that were missing off of the schedule from last night will be played Sunday morning at 8 a.m. as they had some diamond time available prior to the playoff action on Sunday, and I'm sure those couple of games will have some playoff implications. So we'll keep an eye on all the scores around you. Right now, there's our umpires, George LeMaitre behind the dish. Trevor Topping will be at first base for this morning's game. Leading off for the Hill United Chiefs, as is mostly the case, Shane Boland, Brad Ezekiel, Nick Shales, the top 3. Bruno Matroni, Quentin Bruce, Tony Gonzalez, Edgar Pipolo Lopez, Alan Pecker, and Nick White is the designated player for the Chiefs here this morning. Martin Gonzalez will get the start for Hill United. He comes in, Joe, with a 5-1 record, getting the bulk of the board time for the Chiefs early here in the season.
He's been the main man so far, throwing a lot of innings. Been very consistent so far.
Defensively for the Bear Creek Express, left to right across the outfield, it's Alan Salgado, Callum Bichel, and Yusuf Davis. You see Sean Cleary right there in the center of your frame. He's on the board. He's pitching to Luiger Pinto. David Yaluska, David Galino, Ty Sebastian, and Dylan Cunningham around the horn. Matthew Waugh comes over from the there's first time, the Bear Creek Gremlins, the brother organization, and Matthew Waugh getting some extra playing time ahead of the World Cup. He'll be the designated player for the Express here this morning.
First pitch, 10:56.
So we started about 4 minutes early. And for the 4,378th time in their career, Sean Cleary and Shane Boland face off. Just another Tuesday night league game in the St. John's League. Stakes a little bit different here today, though. I'm sure Bradley Ezekiel is in that same camp with the career number of at-bats against Sean Cleary. It's interesting, though, Joe, I was talking to Matthew Waugh about half an hour before game time, and I expressed a little bit of surprise that he was here. Shane Boland pops this one up. Ty Sebastian, a step and a half out onto the grass, will reel that one in for the first out of the game. And I said, how come you're over here this weekend instead of taking the time off? And he said, well, one, I just want to get the playing time. Of course, it makes absolute sense. But he said, you know, mostly in our tournaments, we just see Canadian pitchers getting the opportunity here. They're going to play New Zealand. They're going to play the Dominican, might play Australia. Just get the opportunity to see some different pitching that they're going to run into at the World Cup.
Great exposure that he's going to put in his back pocket.
Bradley Ezekiel to the dish. A very uncharacteristic game last night for Brad Ezekiel. 0 for 4, Joe, with a pair of Ks and a pair of groundouts. I can't remember an 0 for game for Brad Ezekiel like that.
I wonder if it will break out today. We'll see.
I have no doubt that Brad Ezekiel will break out today. Fouls, this one's almost straight in behind him.
So with the rain out for Bear Creek last night, this is actually their first game of the tournament now.
It is, you're right. They're finished second in the Bear Creek event last weekend that ended up being played in Glencoe, Ontario. They dropped the championship game 8-1 to the Gremlins. In for a strike to Brad Ezekiel. Brad only batting .500, Joe, coming into the tournament. 6 home runs, 17 RBIs, the club leader in both of those stats. Just off the outside corner, Pinto looking for that call. The setup was outside, and it was to the glove. Cleary a long look in.
Zeke's usually right on that back line of the box. His feet are shifting a bit now.
Ezekiel?
Yes. Sorry.
Well, I was just wondering because Sean was starting basically 2 feet on the board before he stepped back. And then if you watch Sean's pivot foot, not really in contact with the board unless the heel is just touching it. That's chop foul down the side. Good hands over there by Jeff Ellsworth. Jeff, of course, was an outfielder by trade, Joe, but still has the hands. I can tell you, too, and you can see them in your screen right behind Brad Ezekiel. That's the New Zealand coaching staff, and they are charting every single pitch here from Sean Cleary, and you can bet that they'll be watching intently all of the games that they're not involved in. They're just freshly off of this field, too. A big 9-1 win over the Toronto Batmen first thing this morning. Pinto was ready to fire that one around, but Brad Ezekiel a good eye at the plate.
Brad's really working on his timing right now against Cleary. You just see the wheels turning. He's pulled a couple of pitches at just foul.
Full count to Brad Ezekiel. Top of the first inning here. Day 2 at the Peter Hallman Memorial. Inside, called strike 3. Down goes Brad Ezekiel. Can't pull the trigger on that one off of Sean Cleary.
Good pitch on the inside. Tied up his hands.
Nick Shales to the plate. Just 11:01 a.m. Blair Setford, Joe Todd, thanks for joining us here on the Chiefs Network on Softball Premier TV. Top of the first inning, the Hill United Chiefs locking up with the Bear Creek Express. 2 down here in the top of the first. We started about 4 minutes early. Sean Cleary out on the board, pitching to Nick Shales. A pop-up by Shane Boland. Brad Ezekiel down on strikes, and you're caught up with everything that is going on here so far this morning. Cleary a touch of the Gorilla Gold rag. Long time to get set.
Yes.
And delivers this one down low to Shales. Not in effect here, but starting July 8 at the WBSC World Cup, there'll be a 20-second clock on pitchers, and you won't have the luxury of 30 seconds in between pitches.
Makes a big difference.
Chases down low, and that's a good drop ball from Cleary. A lot of the Chiefs, a lot of the Express will be headed to Saskatoon after this event here this weekend. There's a pre-tournament event there with Canada, Japan, New Zealand, and the United States. This one is lined out to center, but right at Callum Bichel. Shales gets a good piece of it, but lines out to his countrymate. 3 up, 3 down go the Chiefs in the top of the first. We'll go to the bottom half. The Express coming to the plate.
Welcome to Mont Hill Golf and Country Club. With our beautiful 27-hole golf course open to the public, we work tirelessly to ensure your time with us is second to none. Well, here you'll be able to enjoy an incredible dining experience at our very own Big Pete's Steakhouse. Play some of the best courses in the world with our state-of-the-art golf simulators. Upgrade your gear with the top brands at our pro shop, or host a stunning wedding, event, or conference inside one of our beautiful ballrooms. Learn all this and more at monthill.ca. We can't wait to see you soon.
Well, back here for the bottom of the first inning, Blair Sedford, Joe Todd on Softball Premier TV, the Hill United Chiefs Network. And Joe, let's set the defense here for the Chiefs, and you see it there on screen. Left field, Quentin Bruce, Brad Ezekiel, Alan Pecker. Bruno Matroni is behind the plate, and then around the horn, Shane Bolin at short, Tony Gonzalez, Edgar Pipolo Lopez, Nick Shales, and Martin Gonzalez comes in with a 5-1 record, Joe. And fresh off being named the top pitcher at the Chiefs Challenge last weekend in Simcoe.
Pitched extremely well, threw a lot of strikes, was up there challenging the batters.
For the Express, Callum Bichel will lead off. The pickup, Matthew Waugh, the designated player, hits in the 2 spot. Ty Sebastian. Ty's having a whale of a year again for the Express, the MVP at the Canada East qualifier a couple of weeks ago in Mitchell. Luiger Pinto bats fourth. David Galino, Alan Salgado. Dylan Cunningham starts at first base for the Express. David Yaluska and Yusuf Davis in the 9 spot. There's Martin Gonzalez numbers, 336, 38 strikeouts, and 25 innings pitched.
23 degrees here in Kitchener, Ontario this morning with a west wind. Supposed to be 23 all day today, so if you like it right now, stay tuned. It'll be won't be going anywhere.
Well, a pretty consistent temperature. It's going to be warm tomorrow, upwards of 28, 29 degrees. We won't get to the highs that we had in Simcoe last week, and that's probably a good thing. But looking forward to an absolutely tremendous day of fast pitch here at the Peter Hallman Memorial Tournament. Bichel, who will trade the maroon and white for the green and gold of the Aussie Steelers. Of course, the Steelers, a 9-inning win over Hill United last night. Pass ball was the decider. 2 hopper out to Shales. Fires across for the first out of the game for the Express. On the money, Joe, every single time from Nick, right at the letters.
Great thrower and great techniques. Just a guy you can watch and take notes from. The old step and throw. If he has time. If not, he relies on the upper body strength.
Matthew Waugh steps in. '24 Canada East Player of the Year, Matthew Waugh for the Gremlins, and he's spent over a decade there now, Joe, with that organization. And half a dozen times All-World at the ISC World Tournament.
Great to see that allegiance and staying with the same team. I love that.
You see that a lot of the guys too on the Chiefs side. Nick Shales, one of the original Chiefs, going all the way back to 2012, the first year of the Chiefs organization. He and Steve Mullally and Adam Folkard. Gonzalez in with ball 4 to Matthew Waugh. So a one-out walk for Matthew. That'll bring up Ty Sebastian. Ty at second base today. He will spend time bouncing between second and the pitcher's board, I've got to assume, Joe, when they get out to the World Cup.
Yes.
First pitch, hard hit, straightaway center field, off the top of the fence. Waugh comes around second into third, and Sebastian up to second base with a double.
Boy, greet him early with that first strike swing. Right off the base of the fence. Brad Ezekiel just chased it down as fast as he could. Good base running by Matthew Waugh to get over to third quickly.
Well, I think the only question on that one, was it going to get out or was it going to hit the fence? It was pretty quickly over the head of Brad Ezekiel in center. Played it well off the fence. Did a good job to keep Matthew Waugh from scoring. Bruno Matroni out to have a quick word with Martin Gonzalez. Reset the signals with Sebastian out at second base. The infield now drawn in to face Luiger Pinto. And this one is lifted out to center right. Ezekiel will make the grab, and the throw will come in to Shane Boland. A sac fly for Luiger Pinto. And Matthew Waugh scores the game's first run.
Good play by Brad Ezekiel to make that throw over to third base. Make sure that runner stays at second.
Well, fundamentals, Joe, and you and I talk about this a lot. That's a fundamental play. You're not going to throw Matthew Waugh out on the plate. Make the right play. Keep the runner at second. Don't give away the extra base. There's a lot of guys who will try to be the hero and make the hero throw to the plate. Smart baseball by Brad Ezekiel, knowing it's only the bottom of the first two. Your team are going to score runs.
Yes.
David Galino, the shortstop from Venezuela, another guy who will be headed up to Prince Albert. Good pitch on the outside corner from Martin Gonzalez. You can always tell David Galino at the plate, Joe. He's got the flashy gloves and the pink sleeve here today. They're going to ask on the swing, and no, says Trevor Topping. Just off the outside corner. George and Trevor probably do, I'm going to guess, 150 games together a year. Between league play and tournaments, these two are often paired together. George from just down the road in Hamilton. Trevor local here in Kitchener. And Joe, you mentioned the west wind. I'm going to take you at your word that it's coming from the west because I'm directionally challenged. But it's blowing out to left field.
Yes.
There's a little excuse me check swing and right into the glove of Nick Shales to end the inning. Express score one. Sac fly by Luiger Pinto. We'll get to the top of the second. 1-0 for the Express. Early doors here in this one.
catcher, inch by inch, we'll fight to make the lives of First Nations people in this community, this province, and on this continent better. I know we have a long way to go, but I'm proud to say, as long as our people have a need, Dreamcatcher will be there for them.
So top of the second inning for the Chiefs, it'll be 4-5-6. Bruno Matroni, Quentin Bruce, Tony Gonzalez. Bruno Matroni, Joe, with a long line drive home run last night. Had the Chiefs up early, but they couldn't convert that one into a win. Bruno, the only guy with a two-hit night last night, 2 for 4 with the home run, had a single in the ninth.
Still a good ball player, even though he's in his final stages of his career. I really don't want to see him go away. He's been a great guy, very friendly and very outgoing.
Well, let's just say closer to the end than the beginning.
Yes. I know he's phased away from the national team, hasn't he?
He has. He has stepped down from the Argentina national team, longtime captain and leader for Argentina. Still cherishes those wins in 2019 as they got the daily double, the World Cup and the Pan Am Games gold medal, similar or the same actually as what Canada did in 2015.
Score.
Smashed by Matroni out to left field. And another base hit for Bruno.
Brought his hitting shoes this weekend.
Quentin Bruce will step in. Quentin was 1 for 3 with a walk yesterday. A stolen base as well for 29-year-old Quentin Bruce from Grand Valley. Not too far from here.
No, I'm thinking 35, 40 minutes.
A couple of weeks ago, Joe, they inaugurated a new softball complex up in Grand Valley. You and I will have to check that out at some point in the future, but they asked Quentin to come and throw out the first pitch. Quite the honor.
Yes. Quentin right on the back line of that batter's box.
Well, I think you can just put that on a loop for
Yeah.
everybody. I don't imagine there's going to be too many guys at the front of the box. Joe, I see the Georgian Bay game with Midland Explorers. That must be over. I think Georgian Bay is playing a double. They're still on that diamond.
Yeah.
Right off the end of the bat, a little cue shot. Some more good hands by Jeff Ellsworth. Kingston Axemen were 3-0 winners earlier this morning over Townsend Tide. And this one is laced straight out to center field by Quentin Bruce. Bruno Matroni up to second base. So back-to-back hard-hit singles here, and the Chiefs have got something going here in the second inning.
Got to find a reply to that run put on the board by Bear Creek. The Georgian Bay Giants won by a score of 3-1 over Midland Explorers. Yuya Yamawaki was the winning pitcher, and Kyle Linton suffered the loss.
Well, who have you recruited to do your score reporting? Well, courtesy of the Georgian Bay team. Very good.
They're back on the diamond for a doubleheader. They're playing Oshweekon right now.
Tony Gonzalez at the dish. Tony, as always, Joe, in the mix with RBIs, base hits, home runs. Opportunity here to get the Chiefs on board. Fouls this one out of play. Tony comes in with 2 home runs, 11 RBIs. First team All-World last year for Tony Gonzalez. And Joe, he was on base for both of Alan Pecker's 2-run home runs in the championship game last year. Down and in. He's been back at second base for the last couple of weeks and doing a great job of it. Lenny Villavazzo hurt his thumb early in the Mitchell tournament and hasn't been back on the field since. I talked to Lenny this morning, and he said maybe. We'll see. Yeah. Maybe. And I think the right thing there is you don't want to rush it. You don't want to re-injure anything while you're rehabbing it. Change-up on the inside corner for a strike to Tony.
We might see him maybe tomorrow. Bit of a cat and mouse game going here. Or?
Well, Tony's been in and out. Sean's been on the board and off.
Yeah.
Closing in on 60 seconds from the prior pitch. Foul tip at the plate.
Pinto took one off the hand there, so home plate umper George LeMaitre is taking his time and going out to clean the plate. They're taking care of each other.
Yeah, you always want to take care of your catchers. You can see how strong the wind is gusting out there, and Cleary's shirt and billowing a little bit. And that got Gonzalez on the elbow.
Yeah.
I think it got him on the back elbow. He'll go down to first base the hard way. Tony's a pretty tough guy, but I can tell you from experience, that hurts.
Yeah, they stay.
Get one on the elbow. You can see where he's pointing to it there.
It's not the funny bone.
So bases loaded for Pipolo Lopez. Or Edgar, as I believe we're going with this year. Edgar, the proper first name. Pipolo, I'm told, was always a nickname. Change up on the outside corner.
Cleary threw 14 pitches in the first inning. He's thrown 12 here so far in the second inning, and no one out.
Lopez, 452, Joe, coming in for the batting average. He's been in the midst of a lot of action. 8 RBIs. Fouls this one off.
Pinto's taking a beating back there.
The one thing we haven't seen from Lopez, Joe, this year, a home run. Wouldn't now be a great time to get one on the board?
If he gets one in the letters, she'll travel.
A little weak swing downstairs at the changeup again. And I think Cleary must have a little bit of insider knowledge there on Lopez because he came with a bunch of changeups in that at bat.
Yeah, I don't imagine he'll see a rise ball or a fastball at any time. Everything will be down and low, especially with the bases loaded. You want to make it easier on your infield, too.
Alan Pecker to the plate. Allen had a ground-out RBI in the ninth to tie the game in the top of the ninth last night. It's more off speed from Cleary. And Joe, he will go to the off speed if he's not feeling entirely comfortable. And I'm not sure this is a board that he's ever really felt comfortable with over the years.
Yes.
2014 here, 2018, a lot of tournaments here, but I don't know that Sean has ever really liked pitching on this diamond. Comes in with a hard drop there and Pecker over the top.
So Gatto was playing very deep in left field.
Yeah, much more so than Davis out and right, isn't he? Which is interesting because when Allen hits it out, it tends to be
it goes to the
center right. Yeah. That one is outside. And you go back to Championship Saturday, there was 2 to straightaway center and 2 to straightaway right.
Yeah, one went off our breakfast tent.
And the other one went over it. I think we'll be talking about that day for a long time. Fouls this one straight back into the glove.
Good pitch selection there by Cleary and Pino. Imagine that's all he's going to see now is drops and changeups.
Chiefs with the bases loaded here. One down now, but they had the bases loaded with nobody out. You've got to take advantage of these opportunities. They only scored 1 with the bases loaded in the ninth last night. There's a hard hit ground ball. Stopping and the shovel to first and the double play, and they're out of it. The Chiefs strand the bases loaded. Ty Sebastian tagging. Tony Gonzalez, who froze, did all he could to try and delay the inevitable. And as fast as Alan Pecker is, still gets doubled up. Well, go to the home half, Joe Todd, and maybe some momentum right now on the side of the Bear Creek Express, escaping from a bases-loaded, nobody-out jam, courtesy of a nifty double play by Ty Sebastian. Alan Salgado, Dylan Cunningham, David Jaluska, 6-7-8 for the Express. Mexico, Canada, and Czechia with USA.
Yeah,
at the bottom of the order for Yusuf Davis and this completely remade Bear Creek Express squad from last year. Sean Cleary, the only guy in this lineup that started today that was on this team last year.
Great, yes. A lot of big changes. A lot of restructuring. How's that one sound?
Yeah, well, as a corporate guy, I've been on both sides of those.
Yeah, me too.
Salgado come up from the Glowworm squad from Ensenada, Mexico last year. Had a good world tournament. There's a great picture of him on the ISC website, Joe, hitting a home run, helped propel the Glowworm to an upset win over Circle Tap Dukes last year at Softball City.
Full count to Salgado. Good rip.
Another foul ball.
Good quick hands there by Salgado. Protecting that plate as he's got 2 strikes.
And again, fouls it off, and again, a big rip. It's a good thing the windows are closed up here, Joe Todd. We'd be feeling the breeze from that swing.
Good quick hands. He really brings that bat through.
Ball 4 to Alan Salgado. Martin Gonzalez just can't find the range there.
Second walk for Gonzalez today. Had walked Matthew Waugh back in the first inning.
Dylan Cunningham from just north of Guelph, Puslinch, Ontario, in that neighborhood.
Yes.
Spent a couple of seasons with the Stompers/Drillers organization. Big cut fouls that one back into the glove. He's a real handy guy to have around. He can if you came to it, he can pitch. Hits well still, but caught looking here on the outside corner. And that'll get us to the reigning ISC leading batter, Joe Todd. David Yaluska, last year with the Pueblo Bandits, and led the tournament in hitting.
First strikeout for Gonzalez today. Gonzalez is a big boy. He must be 6'1", 6'2".
Yaluska, you mean?
Or sorry, Yaluska.
Yeah, he is a kind of the string bean variety, though. He's a tall kid. It seems like everybody that comes over from Czechia is 6'2", 6'3", and he's at least that much, but not sure he weighs 190 pounds soaking wet. Gonzalez misses down and away. Joe, want to give a bit of a shout-out to the John Cho Cup that's going on out in Prince George, British Columbia. They had a game last night, Grand Prairie Pirates and the Broken Bow Blazers. Pirates would win 4-2 in 8, as this one is lifted out to left. But it's going to be catchable for Bruce, just in foul territory, and quickly gets it back in the infield, and no opportunity there for Salgado to advance. Steve Normand, 16 Ks for Grand Prairie in a winning effort. But get this, Miker Pimentel was there throwing for this Broken Bow squad. He had 18 strikeouts in that game. Game ended just after 1 a.m. So a shout out to the John Cho Cup out in Prince George. Hard hit ground ball to Tony, and they'll flip to Shane, who flips it to Alan Salgado, who dropped it. So E on the runner, but they're out of the inning. Joe, we got our first look at Nick White here this morning. Can still say that for another 25 minutes. Nick has been hitting the ball a ton, Joe. A couple of home runs, 12 RBIs already for the Chiefs here this season. The leading batter in terms of batting average for the team coming into the weekend. A pretty lofty 556. Hard to keep a guy like that out of the lineup. He's the DP today.
Just shows you how deep that Hill United Chiefs lineup is when he's batting ninth. He has progressed so far in the 3 years that I've seen him now.
Just 21 years old and a member of Team Canada. I think he's going to be a real secret weapon for John Stewart and crew out in Prince Albert and Saskatchewan in a couple of weeks' time. Not even. About 10 days' time.
Yeah.
Speed. He can drop the ball down for a bunt. He can hit for power. He'll be a stolen base threat coming off the bench. And if any one of the outfielders needs to be spelled for a game or, heaven forbid, there's an injury, Nick will be able to step in.
I don't think you want to get hurt on that lineup because Nick could fill the job.
Yeah, you might be Wally Pipp. Chiefs had the bases loaded with nobody out in the second. Couldn't get one across. It seems like, Joe, they're just snake bit a little bit right now. Even in the game last night, they had a couple of hard hit balls and right at guys. Matt Harrell out at second base for the Steelers last night made a couple of great plays that were run savers.
Marco Diaz starting to get some warm-up pitches.
Well, and I see down that line, too, it's Lenny Villavazzo who's out playing
spotter.
I was going to say watch guard or guard dog or something out there. But I noticed, Joe, he still had the splint on his left thumb.
Yeah.
So
Still must be fairly weak.
Yeah. Two balls, two strikes to Nick White.
White patiently waiting.
And this one is going to get popped out of play on the left side, just out of play. Oh, you can see a good play there by a fan who knocked it down, bounced it, and then backhanded it onto the field.
Oh.
Not a bad play over there. Great camera work by Carol Doreste. She's got her black ninja suit on over there, Joe. She's all suited up with sun protection, a peak.
Great idea, too. She's out there for a long day usually, and the sun is can be very harmful.
Well, we're back-to-back here with the Chiefs this morning and another 1 p.m. scheduled start. White goes around and back to the bench. The leadoff strikeout for Cleary here in top of the third inning, and back to the top of the shop for Shane Boland. Now his second look at Sean Cleary this morning. White was trying to sell it like it was ball 4. He's just now making his way into the first base dugout. George LeMaitre is like, what are you doing over there? We've seen a lot of these little excuse me check swings here this weekend already. A lot of the pitchers have been working inside to the batters and getting these little foul offs. You get a good look there at the intensity of Shane Boland. Just misses off the outside corner. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Shane has a real wide open stance, and as the ball is released from the pitcher, you'll see his front foot come back in, and then he's square to the pitcher. But he doesn't move that foot till Sean releases the ball.
Another timing mechanism. Talk about that with Bradley Ezekiel with the hands up over the head. Takes the rise ball up and away for a ball.
Both teams fairly quiet here this morning. Don't hear much noise.
That one misses down and away, so make it 3-1, I believe. You got 3-1?
Yes.
Up and in, ball 4 to Boland. So a 1-out walk, and Shane gets aboard.
First walk issued by Cleary this morning. Did have a hit by pitch to Tony Gonzalez back in the second inning. Brad Ezekiel now at the plate with 1 out. Shane Boland at first base.
Misses downstairs. Brad's on a little 0 for 5 slide here right now. Go back to the championship game last week in Simcoe. He was hitting the ball well there. The MVP of the Chiefs Challenge in Simcoe.
Well deserved.
Strike on the outside corner.
Sean is doing his best just to throw off the timing of Bradley. Changing his time, changing his release. Sequencing of pitches is very important. 2 balls, 1 strike.
Chases the drop ball downstairs and just not being able to square anything up here from Cleary.
I imagine I'd stay right with that pitch, too. I wouldn't change a thing.
Right through the 5.5 hole, and boy, you can't keep Bradley Ezekiel down for long. Didn't look like it was a great swing the previous pitch, and you're right, Joe, they went right back with the drop ball, but he's able to pull that through the hole. Goes down and gets it, and right past the diving shortstop, Galino. So 2 runners aboard for Nick Shales, and well, you'd like to see the guys get a couple of these hits bunched together, resulting in a run.
Well, last inning they left 2 runners on base, and you can't do that every inning. Usually comes back to haunt you when you look back at the scorebook.
Chopper on the infield, in and out of the glove of
Ty.
Well, Ty's not number 10, though.
No?
They've made a change.
Yes.
That's what threw me off,
Yeah.
because Ty was there previously.
Uh-huh.
We will get that for you. Oh, it's Cody Panabecker.
Oh, yes.
So Panabecker in at second, but it was Sebastian who made the play at the end of the previous inning on the double play.
Yep.
So bases loaded again, this time for Bruno Matroni. Down and in for a strike. Bruno not enthused about that call. Takes a little stroll. Bruno led off the second with a hard hit single to straightaway center. Chopper on the infield to Panabecker, swipes at the tag, and back to first, and they get another ground ball double play. And again, the Express are able to escape a bases loaded jam.
Again, leaving 2 runners on base.
Yeah, got him on the tag. I thought maybe it was a little bit further away for that tag attempt, but he got Nick right on the hip.
Yeah, he charged the ball.
So the Chiefs back-to-back innings where the bases are loaded and can't get a run across. And it remains 1-0 for the Bear Creek Express.
Welcome to Mont Hill Golf and Country Club. With our beautiful 27-hole golf course open to the public, we work tirelessly to ensure your time with us is second to none. Well, here you'll be able to enjoy an incredible dining experience at our very own Big Pete's Steakhouse. Play some of the best courses in the world with our state-of-the-art golf simulators. Upgrade your gear with the top brands at our pro shop, or host a stunning wedding, event, or conference inside one of our beautiful ballrooms. Learn all this and more at monthill.ca. We can't wait to see you soon.
Top of the shop for Bear Creek Express here, the home half of the third inning. Joe Calum, Bichel, Matthew Watt, Ty Sebastian, But I believe it's Cody Bannebecker who is going to hit in that spot. Although I see Yusuke Morita has got a bat in hand down in the warm-up area, down in front of us. So I wonder if something happened with Ty, or just the Express getting everybody into the game.
Yeah, I'm just wondering if we can't see the third base line. I wonder if Ty was getting some pitches in.
Down and in to Bichelle from Gonzalez. You noted that Marco Diaz was up an inning ago and didn't look like he was warming up with any intent.
Well, with the next game right behind this, and I imagine he's just getting some pitches to loosen his arm up.
Diaz went 5 1/3 last night, took the loss against Australia. Justin Schofield went the first 4. Well, 4 1/3, I guess, pardon me, for Diaz.
Ball went right off the face of the light.
Peter Hallman Ball Yard here in Kitchener, Ontario. Home of 5 ISC World Tournaments over the years. This one is punched out to center right. Bradley Ezekiel will come across and make the catch in front of Alan Pecker for the first out of the inning. Pretty difficult to get one in between those two, Joe, out in center right field. Both of them converging on it. You see Bradley with the catch at the hip.
Great range by both of them. Good communication between the two of them as well.
Matthew Waugh walked and scored in the first. Ty Sebastian is going over to the on-deck circle, Joe, so I wonder if indeed they had him throwing down the right side.
Mm-hmm.
Or the left side, because we are absolutely blocked from that here in our location in the press box.
Diaz is back up again. Gonzalez has done a very good economical use of his pitches. We're in the third inning and only 33 pitches. So
that one misses just down low. Matthew's going to have to get a new decal for that helmet. Still has the NY logo on it.
good pitch in that outside corner of the plate. Won't hurt you out there.
Shales well off the line at third, as he typically is. Little chopper down towards first, and Lopez will tap Waugh on the shoulder on the way by.
Good play by Lopez to charge that ball. Don't sit on your heels.
No, you got to go get that, or Matthew Waugh will be by you. Sebastian had a ringing double to straightaway center field off the top of the fence. That was back in the first. Bruno has a bit of a word with George LeMaitre about the location of that pitch.
I was watching the positioning of Brad Ezekiel too, and Brad goes, "Where's that pitch?" You can almost see it on his face from center field. That's our center field camera working there right now.
I'd love to get Bradley or somebody mic'd up for a couple of innings one time again. We did it with Shane Boland a couple of summers back, had Shane mic'd up for a couple of innings, but just to hear some of the chatter too.
Yeah.
I mean, Joe, we don't have a great vantage point here in terms of being able to see where the ball's crossing the plate. But, boy, he's got to be right around the strike zone. He's got to have it surrounded at this point. Oh, a great play by Martin Gonzalez to stab that. That was going to be right back up the middle. Gonzalez, excellent defense. You see it here on the replay. He reaches back to grab this one on the backhand. Big stretch. And then the soft toss to first.
Great play to help your own cause.
Well, a 3-up, 3-down inning. I think Martin Gonzalez been looking for that too. Quentin Bruce will lead it off for the Chiefs here at the top of the fourth, Joe. They've left a small village on base the last couple of innings, have Hill United. Quentin singled, got to second in the second, but 2 straight innings now. They've had the bases loaded, Joe, with less than 2 out and have not been able to cash a run.
Yeah, you just have to get that big clutch hit.
Usually that's not an issue for this squad.
Georgia Bay Giants leading by a score of 2-0 over Ashweek and Redmond, and they're in the bottom of the second inning.
And Toronto Batmen, Joe, are essentially on their third of the day. They had to play. They had to come back and play at 8 a.m. this morning to wrap up their game with JDT Energy. They started at 8 a.m. Toronto was winning that game in the top of the 7th, 3-2. They went 3 up, 3 down in the top of the 7th. JDT got a single. And as we talked to the coaching staff this morning over breakfast, they tried to bunt him over to second base in the bottom of the 7th inning. Missed on the bunt attempt. Justin Laskowski promptly hit it out of the park. Well, if you can't bunt, at least hit a home run.
Yeah, you can't do one thing right. You better do the other one.
Yeah, and a walk-off home run for Justin Laskowski. JDT Energy, 4-3 winners for the Batmen, or for JDT over the Batmen. Toronto then had to come down to this diamond and play the New Zealand Black Sox on the short end of a 9-1 decision there. And now they're right back in play again. This one well hit by Bruce, left field, and gone! A home run for Quentin Bruce. Opposite field. Ran out of room out there in left field did Alan Salgado. Had to watch it go. And Quentin Bruce with another home run for his total on the year. He's up to 5 now on the season. And this one now Joe tied at 1.
Good bat speed there by Quentin Bruce. Good upper body swing. Taking that ball the other way and out of the park for that first home run for the Hill United Chiefs here in the top of the 4th inning.
You see Delgado thought he had a beat on it, but just ran out of real estate.
Readjusting the fence right now. Tie ball game now. Well, that could be the breakout pitch or hit that Hill United Chiefs were looking for all day. You have to get something going. You have to stay on a roll here now. Good
Comes
off
back
speed.
with the changeup to Tony Gonzalez.
Shane with 55 pitches so far in the game.
Come back with the changeup again, and Gonzalez, just a little easy swing, just pushed that one almost out to left field.
Good read by Gonzalez. Just wondering the fact of, am I going to get that changeup again? If so, I'm going to sit on it.
Yeah, he kept the hands back and then just able to punch that out to short left and follows up the Quentin Bruce home run with a single. Edgar Lopez to the plate. First pitch swinging, Cody Pannebecker. And again, Gonzalez does everything he can to get out of the way. That's the third ground out double play that the Chiefs have hit into to the right side. I don't know what Tony can do there other than drop to the dirt, maybe.
Yeah. Roll around.
Stop, drop, and roll. Yeah.
Double play in the second, third, and now here in the fourth.
So Pecker to the plate with 2 down and the bases empty.
Hill United Chiefs with 5 hits so far in the game, and the Bear Creek Express with just 1.
Misses off the outside corner. And well, Joe, there is somebody, I can just get a glimpse of somebody throwing down the left field line. Pecker swings over the top. But I can't tell you who it is from here. We'll go look in between innings. I don't know how they're going to bring Ty Sebastian back into the game, though, because he's batted. He's been substituted for defensively and then batted again. Pannebecker is now back out playing defense. There's a chopper on the infield. Cunningham bobbles it, and Pecker aboard. And I'm giving a base hit there, Joe, because I don't think they were going to get him, even if he fields that cleanly.
Yeah, good wheels by Pecker going down that line.
And I don't think that Pannebecker was going to get to the bag in time. He was shaded up the middle, had a long way to go to get to the bag. And by the time Cunningham got to the ball, as you saw on the replay, Pecker was past him.
Yes. I think Pecker's speed might have intimidated Pannebecker a bit.
So Nick White to the plate with 2 down and Pecker aboard. Normally Jeff Ellsworth has got guys in motion here pretty quickly. We'll see if Alan Pecker is called upon to try and swipe a base. Luiger Pinto throws extraordinarily well from behind the dish. Chases upstairs.
Good pitch by Cleary.
Joe with an 0-2 count. Why not just send him? What have you got to lose here right now?
Yeah. He doesn't look like he's in the running mode right now, though.
He doesn't, but Allen can get going pretty quick. Well, I beg your pardon. Now it's 1-2. I guess it was 1-1 previously. I was going by. They're trying to show on that scoreboard out there. It's the smaller scoreboard. If you're familiar with Peter Hallman, the main scoreboard is not working here this week. They've brought in a temporary one for use this weekend. There goes Pecker on the move and the throw down, but it's in front of the bag. Oh, and I see what they've done. Sebastian is actually playing short. So we'll sort out the defense for the Express, but White down on strikes at the plate.
Philly United with Chiefs with 1 run, 3 hits that inning.
Luiger Pinto to lead things off for the Express here, the home half of the 4th. And Joe, I think we've ironed out the case of the missing Ty Sebastian. He went over to shortstop. It was actually David Galino who's come out of the game for the Express and was getting some therapy down the left field side. They were working on his oblique muscle on his side, so I'm told. Maybe his shoulder area as well. And he dove for a ball defensively, and I wonder if he's hurt something on that defensive attempt. So Sebastian has moved over to short. Pannebecker is in at second. So you can reset your defense as we have for the Express. In for a strike to Pinto. If David Galino is at all injured, Joe, that's
the whole
not only an issue for the Express here this weekend, but for Venezuela.
Yes.
Next week at the World Cup, David Galino, an important part of the Venezuelan squad up the middle. Now, they've got plenty of guys who can play all over the infield defensively, but David Galino, one of the best shortstops in the game.
Ooh.
Pinto corkscrews himself into the ground. He swung so hard. Little dribbler foul, but wow. Sack fly RBI for Luiger back in the first. Watch how hard he swings here.
Yeah.
Oof. It's the backswing.
He doesn't waste anything.
No, it's the backswing. He comes all the way around.
Just missed.
Yeah, just missed downstairs. Pinto tied for the lead in RBIs in the World Tournament 2 years ago. He and Jonathan Lynch tied for the RBI lead in the World Tournament 2023. Chopper on the infield, and again, Martin Gonzalez fields his position very well.
Back-to-back 1-3s if you're scoring back home.
And Game Changer has pretty much eliminated the need to do that, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Well, they're just entering Panabecker into the game now, which is interesting. He's been playing defense for 2 straight innings.
Well, you don't have to until he comes to the plate legally.
Pushing it, I think.
Yes.
If you're in the game, you're in the game.
Yeah.
But I hear you. Zips one past him on the inside corner. Cody will be a member of Team USA. They'll play with Canada, Japan, and New Zealand in Saskatoon next week prior to the start of the World Cup. I think they're borrowing from hockey, calling it the Four Nations Cup. Strike on the outside corner, from the inside to the outside. Martin Gonzalez, Bruno Matroni working the corners right now.
Just 50 pitches so far for Gonzalez. Gonzalez wanted that pitch.
Yeah, he wanted that one. Looked like on the outside corner, but maybe a bit high. Just judging by where Bruno caught it. Two and two, I believe.
Yes.
And gets it past him for strike 3. Good sequence by Martin Gonzalez and Bruno Matroni to get Cody Panabecker to the outside corner, right to the mitt. Salgado reached on a walk in the second and then was erased on a force out to end the inning.
Well, this is exactly the outing that the Hill United Chiefs coaching staff were looking for Ada Martinez. Trying to, another game scheduled just after this, another game at 7 tonight. They want to make sure Gonzalez gets a lot of innings in his belt.
Yeah, you'd be looking for a complete game here if at all possible. And a real challenge here, too. I mean, this is a very good club team in Bear Creek. The Chiefs ranked number 1 in the initial set of ISC rankings. The next set is going to come out right after this weekend. So I'm told, at least.
Mm-hmm.
And then look for the World Tournament schedule, Joe, in the not-too-distant future. That's creeping up on us pretty quick.
Yes.
You and I are going to be on a plane in about 3.5 weeks.
Yeah. Looking forward to that.
North Mankato.
I love going to new places I've never been to before.
Caswell Park. a wagon wheel style setup. They had the USA Nationals there 2022 or 2023. Misses downstairs. Peter Labardius will be on hand with us, Joe. And we want to say hi to Peter at the NHL Draft this weekend. Peter, in his day job, is a scout for the Calgary Flames. And it's all hands on deck for the draft this weekend. You and I caught a bit of that as we made our way undercover to a restaurant last night. We made it by 3 steps before the monsoon overtook the Kitchener area.
And she came down
in buckets and sheets last night.
Well, they gave us warning, and they told us it was coming.
Salgado works another walk. Good eye at the plate by Alan Salgado. 2-out walk. That'll bring up Dylan Cunningham. Dylan caught looking in the second inning. My mistake, Joe. Cody Pannebecker not on the USA squad. Has been in the past, but not going to Prince Albert. I want to say thank you to Varm Matiosian keeping us on our toes.
Thanks, Varm. I'll get back to work and make that suit.
Oh. Oof, that was harsh, Joe.
Saturday. Store's
very
open.
Harsh. Varm is not working Saturday.
Not work Saturday?
Varm's management.
Management. Ownership.
That's right.
He's got that laptop going somewhere.
On the outside corner, a strike to Dylan Cunningham. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Dylan. Salgado, the runner, out at first base. A 2-out walk. That one fouled into the screen and off.
20th pitch for Gonzalez this inning.
Yeah, this is the longest inning, it feels like,
Yep.
for Martin. Even base runners aboard in the first and the second. He was clean in the third. The walk here in the fourth prolonged this inning. 2-3 hopper out to Lopez, and he will easily beat his counterpart to the bag at first. We're tied at 1 through 4 complete, Joe Todd. This one's looking a lot like it did last night. Real good competitive ball game. Shane Boland will see Sean Cleary for the third time this game. Walked and reached third, back in the third. Twice the Chiefs have had the bases loaded with less than 2 out, and twice they've been unable to capitalize. Here's a little punch into no man's land out in behind second base in short right field. Yusuf Davis, Cody Pannebecker. Nobody can get to that one, and Shane Boland is aboard with a well-placed base hit.
Shane couldn't have thrown that ball out any better. Hit it where they're not.
Bradley Ezekiel snapped a little mini slump with a single in the third. And it would not surprise me in the least, Joe, to see Bradley get into one here now. This is what happened last week, too. Had a couple of strikeouts in a game, had a single, and then it was a bomb.
Mm-hmm.
Hard hit, deep center field, first pitch, and gone! Bradley Ezekiel doing Bradley Ezekiel things.
Good timing, Blair. Good call.
Holy cow. Brad Ezekiel, first pitch, gets into it on a line drive shot to left center. And here comes the Chiefs' home run hat. Bradley Ezekiel increases his home run lead, his RBI lead. 7 home runs now on the year for Brad. 19 RBIs. That's a season for a lot of people. And Bradley Ezekiel feels like he's still just getting started. You see that one disappear over the temporary fence. Brad making his way around the bases.
Sean Cleary has thrown 3 pitches this inning, but the 3 have hurt. 2 of them anyway.
Well, a 3-1 lead for the Chiefs. Still nobody out here in the 5th, and Nick Shales to the plate.
Good for that top part of the order for Hill United to get rolling.
That's one looped foul down the right side, and that's why Blake Hunter is over there playing spotter right now. Diaz is back up, and it's hard to tell with Diaz, Joe. He never seems to be warming up with any intent like he's coming in, but then suddenly he's out in the circle. Pretty laconic even in his warm-ups. And this one well hit to center field. Back to the fence as Callum Bichel tracks that one down off the bat of Nick Shales. Thought maybe Nick had gotten into one. He went down and got it, but just to the fence. You'll see here as Bichel tracking back, reaches up and pulls that one in.
Never took his eyes off the ball. Good concentration, good focus.
Bruno Matroni 1 for 2, a hard hit single in the second, ground out in the third.
JDT First Energy now coming into the ballpark.
Yeah, Jamie Simpson and Brock Atwell making their way over to the third base dugout. The Chiefs are going to go back-to-back, and we'll have both of these games for you as they're taking on JDT coming up after the conclusion of this one. It should be the Chiefs' home game, Joe, because there's 4 games in the round robin, and they were equally divided 2 home, 2 visitors. The Chiefs have been visitors for their first 2 games, so they should be home team in the next 2. That one misses downstairs to Bruno Matroni.
Sean being very careful right now. Just trying to stay tight on the outside or the inside of the plate. Doesn't want to add any more gasoline to the fire.
Well, in doing all of that, he's fallen behind Bruno Matroni, 3-1. Good hitters count here for Matroni, but ball 4 to the cleanup batter in the Chiefs lineup.
Cleary's thrown 78 pitches so far in the game in the 5 innings of work.
Well, that's Paul Sebastian, who has come out for a visit, but it is a quick one. Just giving Sean an opportunity to catch his breath and collect his thoughts. Not that you'd ever see any emotion from Sean
No.
Cleary out on the board, the Iceman.
Yeah. You can't tell if he's winning or losing.
Quentin Bruce, 2 for 2, a single and a home run. Opportunity to pad the lead for the Chiefs here in the 5th. Base runners every inning other than the first. Finally getting a couple hits together and cashing in some runs here in the 5th.
Hill United Chiefs with 8 hits so far in the game. Bear Creek with 1. But still only a couple runs away from the differential.
Little bleeder to Cleary. Toss to first for the second out of the inning. Bruno will give way to Bruce for the 2-out catcher replacement runner. As you see Cleary go down and get that. Elected to throw it overhand, and a nice easy toss from Sean. He does field the position very well and throws very well overhand. You'll see a lot of pitchers, Joe, will soft toss that underhand, and very occasionally in trying to throw it underhand, they'll actually end up doing something that looks like a slow pitch and put some arc on it, and the runner will be able to beat it out, but not that from Sean.
Well, it's a skill you have to work on around practice.
Did he go around? No,
No.
says Trevor Topping. You're saying no, too? Like
Yep.
You've got the call on it?
Sure.
Sure. Okay. All right.
No, I was watching Trevor, too.
Okay.
I have a view of that spot. Shortstop, no, but Trevor, yes.
Yeah, see, I can't see the third baseman at all behind this concrete pole in front of us. Tony Gonzalez hit by a pitch and then singled in the 4th. Snap
Whoa,
throw,
yes.
and Quentin Bruce caught napping. Ouch.
Good gun by Pinto.
The Chiefs score 2 and take a 3-1 lead, but a little bit of a base running error here to end the inning in the 5th. Watch the throw here from Pinto. You're out. Yeah. Joe Todd, a new pitcher for the Hill United Chiefs as we go to the home half of the fifth for the Express. Marco Diaz on in relief. Starter Martin Gonzalez goes 4 solid innings for Hill United. He'll be in line for another win. And right in for strike one from Marco Diaz. Just the lone hit given up by Martin Gonzalez. Swing and a miss here by Jaluska. One hit.
Yes. 1 hit and 1 run coming across the board.
How many strikeouts for Gonzalez?
2.
Well, Diaz makes short work
And 3.
of David Jaluska.
And 3 walks.
Yusuf Davis to the plate, just his second at bat here in the fifth. The fielder's choice for Yusuf at the end of the second inning. Fouls that one off down the line. Yusuf the last couple of seasons with glowworm.
A little longer flights this year.
Yusuf lives in Las Vegas, so fortunately there's flights to just about anywhere from Las Vegas, so that works for him. Called a strike on the outside corner. I'd be curious to know if he flies into Detroit and drives up, or if he just comes into Toronto and comes over. I got to think it'd be easier to come into Toronto.
I would think so.
Bruno was ready to call that one strike 3, but didn't get the call. He did everything but throw the ball down to Shales at third. Nick is in 2, 3, 4 feet in front of the bag now. Takes a couple of steps back. He's still well off the bag at third. And we talk about that a lot. You play the percentages, and it's rare that somebody will hit one right down the line past you at third base. And Nick, still with great reflexes, and is able to get to a lot of those balls on the backhand.
Those flags are really still flying out in right field. So
Yeah, and it's been blowing out to straight left all day. And we know what a wind tunnel this place can be at times. Blows out. When it blows out to left field. The wind comes over the bleachers. You don't necessarily feel it right at field level, but when you get the ball 20, 30 feet up in the air, it'll carry. That's slashed out to the left, but it's going to go well foul. He gets Davis to swing under a rise ball. Second straight strikeout since coming on, Marco Diaz.
just trying to shut the door. Wants to make sure Bear Creek Express doesn't get any rallies going here.
Back to the top of the shop for Callum Bichel. A ground out and a fly out. And that got a big bite out of Bruno Matroni. That hurt. You can see Bruno trying to catch his breath back there. Doesn't matter how much padding you get on it. You get a straight shot like that, it's going to hurt.
Yeah.
And you can see he just touched Jeff Ellsworth. Well, we're looking at Bichel and Diaz, but he just touched Jeff Ellsworth right in the center of the chest. And Elsie gives him a bit of a tap on the mask and says, yeah, you're a tough guy. Bichel in with a bit of a chuckle. But you can see Bruno, he's holding the top of the chest protector right in the sternum area.
Could take your breath away real quick.
Yeah, those will leave a mark. Lopez picks up that one hopper off the bat of Callum Bichel. He doesn't even make it out of the box. A 1-2-3 inning for Marco Diaz. There have been few and far between in this game for 1-2-3 innings, but comes in and does the job. We'll go to the top of the 6th inning. The Chiefs out in front, 3-1 in this one.
Welcome to Mont Hill Golf and Country Club. With our beautiful 27-hole golf course open to the public, we work tirelessly to ensure your time with us is second to none. Well, here you'll be able to enjoy an incredible dining experience at our very own Big Pete's Steakhouse. Play some of the best courses in the world with our state-of-the-art golf simulators. Upgrade your gear with the top brands at our pro shop, or host a stunning wedding, event, or conference inside one of our beautiful ballrooms. Learn all this and more at monthill.ca. We can't wait to see you soon.
So Tony Gonzalez back to the dish here, top of the 6th inning. Tony was at the plate when the previous inning ended on the pickoff. Gonzalez, Lopez, and Pecker. 6, 7, 8 for the Chiefs. Today, Joe, it's been the top of the lineup for Hill United that has done the damage 1 through 5. There's been lots of offense up and down the lineup from this squad all year. Gonzalez gets into the first pitch. And watch that one go. Tony Gonzalez says, you know what? I'll pick up the bottom of the order right here.
Sure.
A solo shot.
His second hit of the game, 2 for 2 now.
And there's the home run hat for Tony Gonzalez. High fives all the way down the line for the veteran now from Mexico.
70 pitches for Cleary now in the game.
Kyle Ezekiel on to pinch hit for Edgar Lopez. Kyle 1 for 3 last night, had a single, sandwiched around a couple of groundouts. John Hill's out having a laugh with Dylan Cunningham over there at first base. John was in fair territory up until 2 seconds ago.
You're still jabbering.
Yeah, whatever it is, it's pretty funny. Maybe Dylan's wishing him a belated happy birthday. John's birthday was last Sunday.
He's probably asking him if Jason ever squared up for that beer.
Oh, I'm sure he would have. That was a great post that Jason put up, too, to celebrate his dad's birthday. Just misses downstairs. Kyle, the youngest of the three Ezekals. Bradley, the middle. Older brother Blair will be with the Bar Buzz this year, and it's full circle for Blair, going back to the Bar of Appleton. 2004, ISC 2, Blair Ezekiel, Bar of Appleton in Fargo, North Dakota. High hopper on the infield. Pannebecker will just take it himself.
Good play by Pannebecker because he has momentum all going that way.
Right fielder, number 59, Alan Pecker.
So Alan Pecker to the dish. One down and a run in on that solo home run. First pitch, Tony Gonzalez leaving the yard. Pecker tries to bunt, but can't make any contact.
Good quick hands.
Yeah, good pitch, though. Good location. Down and out.
Good movement on Sean Cleary pitch there.
People continuing to stream in, Joe, for second day of the Peter Hallman Memorial Tournament. Wanted to run and slap at it. You could see Allen drop the front foot back in the box. Sean still digging away at the dirt here in the sixth inning. Grounds crew here have always done a really good job with the red clay bricks, and they extend it out 8 to 10 feet in front of the board. They know what men's fast pitch does to the landing areas. Took something off of it. Pecker chases off the outside corner, down on strikes for the second out of the inning. And Blake Hunter will come on to pinch hit for Nick White. Not a bad idea. Nick has struck out twice. Blake Hunter, member of Team Canada, veteran at bat here for Blake, coming on for the youngster. In for a strike in the inside corner. Blake and Brian Avery, Joe, are going to likely split the catching duties up in Prince Albert. I suspect when one of them's not playing behind the plate, the other will be at third base.
Yep.
Maybe in a designated player role, depending on how the coaching staff sets up the infield. Pinto holds it there, gives George LeMaitre a long look at it, but to everybody's surprise, he didn't change his mind.
No. Everybody thinks they might.
Yeah, I've yet to see an umpire change his mind after the catcher holds the ball for a couple of extra beats. Oh, no, wait, you're right. That was a strike. There's a called strike on the outside corner. Long look. Cleary exhales, gets set. And a great pitch off the outside corner. Hunter waves at it. But a leadoff home run from Tony Gonzalez extends the lead for the Chiefs. Now out in front, 4-1. We'll head to the home half of the 6th inning. Softball, Premier TV. Hey, it's in the score here.
Leading off the home half of the 6th, the designated player number 5, Matthew Watt.
Matthew Waugh lead it off for Bear Creek Express here in the 6th. 4-1 the score for Hill United Chiefs. A couple of big home runs, Joe. Quentin Bruce, Tony Gonzalez.
Bear Creek Express bats have just been fairly silent.
And let's not forget Bradley Ezekiel breaking out of a little mini slump with a 2-run home run. The long ball, as it often does, telling the story for Hill United here. Just the one hit on the day for Bear Creek. Martin Gonzalez working the first 4 innings. Diaz 3 up, 3 down in the 5th. And blows this one past Matthew Waugh. Boy, he turned up the wick on that one. Woo! 3rd strikeout in just 4 batters.
Shortstop number 8,
Ty Sebastian having a little bit of a chuckle with Bruno Matroni as he steps in. Ty doubled in the 1st and then grounded out in the 3rd.
Got a score update from Diamond 3, Georgian Bay Giants leading by a score of 5-0 over the Oshweek and Redmond. They're in the top of the 7th inning.
Well, they're going to have started and potentially completed that game while this one still goes on. Strike on the inside corner to Sebastian from Diaz. Over on the back diamond, Joe, it's Toronto Batman and the Dominican Republic. High hopper right into the glove of Lopez, and he's back in the game defensively. That one went over the white bag in fair territory and then caught just on the line and behind the bag.
Good play by Lopez to pick it up on that fair side.
number 3, Pinto.
Very quickly, 2 down. Luiger Pinto to the plate. He's responsible for the only run of the game for the Express, a sac fly all the way back in the first, scored Matthew Waugh. That Sebastian double, Joe, that's the only hit of the game for the Express to this point, too.
And the only 2 base runners after that were 2 walks and a fielder's choice. So great job by the pitching staff of Hale United.
Bruno didn't get the call that he wanted, and no, a little bit of a shake of the head there to George LeMaitre, telling the dugout where that pitch was. That'll be fouled off. Oh, good hands over there by Ryan James down on the first base box. Jeff Ellsworth, I guess, not the only coach who can field this position. Stay with us here on Softball Premier TV. The Hill United Chiefs JDT Energy coming up right after this one, as down on strikes goes Luiger Pinto. About 20 minutes from the conclusion of this one, we'll have the first pitch of the following one. Here's a great pitch and a great look at a drop ball from Marco Diaz. Chiefs out in front, 4-1.
Home half of the 6th inning for Express. Lorenzo hits no players left on base. After 6
Oh, Cuba.
the score, Hill United 4, Bear Creek 1.
Welcome to Mont Hill Golf and Country Club. With our beautiful 27-hole golf course open to the public, we work tirelessly to ensure your time with us is second to none. Well, here you'll be able to enjoy an incredible dining experience at our very own Big Pete's Steakhouse. Play some of the best courses in the world with our state-of-the-art golf simulators. Upgrade your gear with the top brands at our pro shop, or host a stunning wedding, event, or conference inside one of our beautiful ballrooms. Learn all this and more at monthill.ca. We can't wait to see you soon.
For the Bear Creek Express here in the top of the 7th inning, Kuba Osichka is on in relief of Sean Cleary. Cleary goes 6, gives up the 4 runs, 9 hits, a couple of walks, and a hit batter along the way. Osichka on loan from the Bear Creek Gremlins. I got it right. Later this summer, he and his Czech teammates will make their way to the World Games in Chengdu, China. 3 great events this year, Joe. World Cup, World Tournament, World Games. All of them featuring the best players in men's fast-pitch softball.
Should be great, and it's all starting in about less than 2 weeks.
Well, we've had some phenomenal events on our way to the World Tournament here on the club side. Really got things going a couple of weeks ago here in Ontario with the Canada East Qualifier in Mitchell. A great event last week in Simcoe. There was also the Bear Creek event that was played, ended up being played down in Glencoe due to weather-related conditions. The Hallman Memorial this week in Kitchener. Most of the top players on the 8 teams that are in the World Cup will make their way to Saskatoon. Shane Boland out to Sebastian at short. Easy toss to first for the 6-3 ground out.
Good play by Sebastian to charge that ball.
Fielder number 11.
Still lots of great games, Joe, throughout Ontario next week leading into the World Cup. We talked last night about the Aussie Steelers tour. Want to remind everybody in the Hickson area that the Dominican Republic and New Zealand Black Sox will be at the Hickson Diamond on Monday night. You'll be able to follow along on Game Changer with that one. Softball Premier will be out in Saskatoon for the Four Nations Cup. Bradley Ezekiel looks at a ball.
That game in Hickson will be a 9-inning affair.
Oh, is that right?
Yes.
Yeah. You're going to be there, I assume.
Yes.
In for a strike to Ezekiel. That one floated in upstairs. Brad's 2 for 3, singled in the third, 2-run home run in the fifth. And caught looking here. Was not looking for an inside pitch there from Osichka. You can see it here.
Number 27. Nick Kills.
Right to the corner. Nick Shales. Line shot to center field, reached on an error and flew out to center field. Gave it a ride back in the fifth. Callum Bichel tracking it down at the fence. Nick came into the tournament on 5 home runs and 14 RBIs.
Just turned 40 earlier this year.
And Joe, I saw Jared Bradbury from Australia down here a little bit earlier. Changeup and a good one from Osichka. He hurt his shoulder last night, you'll recall, as struck out and went down in a heap. And he didn't have his arm in a sling and everything, but he didn't exactly look like he was walking with confidence.
Yeah.
So I wonder if that's still bothering him. All of which is to go to say. It swings and gets in and out of the glove of... It's a new catcher, too, for the Express. We'll pick that one up. In any event, we'll go to the bottom of the 7th inning. The Chiefs out in front as Nick Shales goes down on strikes. So, Joe, that was Andrew Baker who was catching for Bear Creek last inning. Blake Hunter has come in at third base, and I thought I saw Nick grimace a little bit when he went off the field there at the end of the last inning. So Hunter, who is the DP, has come on to play defensively at third. Cody Pannebecker at the plate for Bear Creek. Diaz looking to pick up a 3-inning save for the Express. Actually, he'll be in line for the win because they got the runs in the top of the 5th.
Yes.
Thought about putting the bunt down.
Good movement by the corner, Blake Hunter. Lopez just sat back.
And that one is pumped in for a strike by Marco Diaz. He has looked rock solid, Joe. 4 strikeouts and a pair of ground balls to Lopez.
Come in and done his job. Silence the bats.
That one stays in fair territory. Underhand and does not get Cody Pannebecker. Bruno Matrone, it was really the only play he had, was to try and just push it forward underhand. And give credit to Pannebecker, who kind of danced around that ball, too, to not run into it. And you see there, good call by Trevor Topping.
Good bounce by Matrone to get out that catcher's position and field that ball. Make it as close as it was.
Alan Salgado, a pair of walks today. Ball 1 in the outside corner.
Second hit for Bear Creek Express today.
All the way back in the first. High hopper to Bolin, shovel to Gonzalez, back to first, call it 2. 6-4 to 3 equals 2. What a great turn there. You see it. Great shot by Tony Gonzalez. And, Joe, when you got that kind of defense, you don't have to strike out everybody.
No.
Let the defense play.
4th double play we've seen in this game today.
Dylan Cunningham now the last hope for the Bear Creek Express. Down to their final out here in the 7th inning. The Chiefs rallying to tie this one on a home run by Quentin Bruce in the 4th. Brad Ezekiel, a 2-run shot in the 5th, puts them out in front. Tony Gonzalez, a solo shot in the 6th, extends the lead. Diaz in line to pick up the win in relief of a real good start by Martin Gonzalez. Just a lone hit. Cunningham chases that one down and away. And in for strike 3. Marco Diaz ends it with a strikeout. The Chiefs, 4-1 winners over Bear Creek Express. They even their record at 1-1 here in the Peter Hallman Memorial. They're going to stay right on this field. Come back with us in about 20 minutes, Joe Todd, and we will see the Chiefs take on JDT Energy. Thanks to Claudio. Thanks to Carol Dureste. Stay with us here on Softball Premier TV. We'll be back pretty shortly.
Welcome to Mont Hill Golf and Country Club. With our beautiful 27-hole golf course open to the public, we work tirelessly to ensure your time with us is second to none. Well, here you'll be able to enjoy an incredible dining experience at our very own Big Pete's Steakhouse. Play some of the best courses in the world with our state-of-the-art golf simulators. Upgrade your gear with the top brands at our pro shop, or host a stunning wedding, event, or conference inside one of our beautiful ballrooms. Learn all this and more at monthill.ca. We can't wait to see you soon.